Takes a second to confirm. Not yet. Fucking idiot.
Where to Hunt podcast. It's okay.
Hi, I'm Dan Small, host of Outdoor Wisconsin, and I listen to Where to Hunt.
Nah, it's okay.
I'm Kurt Geyer with Working Class Bow Hunter. I listen to Where to Hunt podcast, and it's decent.
It's all right.
Hey, this is Bud Fisher with Catching Deers, and I think the Where to Hunt podcast is all right.
Well, this is different.
Yeah, it is.
This is cool. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Where to Hunt podcast, the podcast that connects public land hunting enthusiasts. Today is June 22nd, and we're hanging out with some people in studio.
Yeah, we have people.
Fuck COVID.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly. No, man, this is fun. We're going to skip ads for today. I'll add them in post-production. I figure it'd be fun. You guys are here in Wisconsin. We're hanging out with the guys from Exodus Trail Cams today. So, Chad and Jake, welcome to the OKS Hunter podcast studio.
Thanks for having us. That intro, crispy.
It's fire. And a hospitality?
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
Second to none.
My wife didn't make us dinner, so you can give us one less star review tonight.
Okay.
We don't know any
do
better.
that
Yeah.
She's like, do I have to make dinner tonight? I was like, I don't know, give me whatever you want. So we got pizza. That's what we're doing tonight. And we got bourbon, so we're talking trail cams and bourbon tonight.
Very cool.
We're talking trail cams and we're drinking bourbon. There you go. And beer.
And beer.
So what brings you guys to Wisconsin?
Well, a boatload, actually. We're here for I guess.
Basically the week.
Yeah, I mean, we're in and out, I guess, eastern Minnesota-ish. But we're here on a content trip. So we're out doing some stuff for YouTube, doing stuff for our podcast. And it's nice being in someone else's studio where you guys are directing the show and we're just here relaxing, answering questions, going with the flow versus directing the flow. So it's a much needed break after day one.
Oh my God, day one. Yeah, we're like, where are you guys staying? I don't know. We don't know yet. There's a hotel down the road. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
In your basement? I kind of forgot we have 3 more days of this. Cause,
yeah.
I mean, you start fresh in the morning, podcast of that. I think it's probably a little worse. And the one after that's a little bit worse. Just because it's like,
that's why you have so much
brain power.
Because there's like, look, the bar is real low here, okay, guys? Like, we do not expect much of any of us.
Zero
here.
expectations.
I mean,
whatsoever.
certainly not ourselves, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So you guys run Exodus Trail Cams. You got the Whitetail Cribs. What is there anything else that I'm missing? Because those are two pretty big
podcasts.
Yeah, you just launched that.
Yeah, just launched a new podcast, and we have Trail Cam Radio as well. So
that's right. You have your own freaking podcast,
yeah,
of course.
Yeah. So we have a lot of things going on. We have a great team. We brought along Cameron and Lucas here. So.
The men behind the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone watching live, you can't see them, but they're here. It's really creepy, actually. They're just watching us.
Live studio.
Cam's just chilling in your chair over there, drinking your
very
bourbon.
comfortable chair. And this one, the animals kind of ruin it a little bit, but we keep it because it looks stupid. So
Nice.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
Lucas over there. Can't forget Lucas.
You guys have been. So Greg just talked about his 2017 version here that he's got the trail cam. When did you guys start at Exodus?
We started back in. I guess we launched the company in 2015. Okay. 2015, and I want to say it was May when we launched the initial flagship model. We launched with one product, really. So we launched D2C 2015. Really trying to find our way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think we started with we were ambitious and had some inspiration and just wanted to conquer the world. But after a couple of years of the, keeping our feet on the ground, heads in the cloud, kind of getting punched in the face a couple of times, I think, the reality kind of sets in and you find your way through that process. And the last 4 years have been just remarkable with, the team that we built. This company structure has kind of changed along the way, but it's been a really, really exciting process, exciting venture. And every year we just evolve a little bit.
We talked a couple of times throughout the years, and your no bullshit warranty stands out to me in a major way, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was part of the initial ambition that hit the market. Was that?
Yeah, I think there was a need for I think whenever a new company comes to market with something, I think there's a couple different angles. One, you could just be, looking to start a company because it's maybe a passion, and that was part of it. But I think the companies that stick around and have something worth talking about, worth buying, the companies that change what that product category looks like are the companies that try to solve problems. I mean, I think that's the stuff that sticks. Like when you're trying to engineer stuff that solve problems, and the things that we saw were longevity issues, like the obsolescence mindset behind the product design in our category. And then like the customer service stuff. And the customer service stuff is really easy, right? Like it's effort. And that's all that it
But
boils
it's
down
talked
to.
about. You see, it's easy, but it's not. Like I do tech support for a company, for a manufacturer.
Uh-huh.
And I am surprised at how many of the bigger companies, they really drop the ball on the tech support. They don't have a live person answering the phone. And that's kind of tough to do. But that's something the company I work for, that's what we pride ourselves on. And that's never going away.
Right.
But answering the phone and then helping them troubleshoot. And even in some cases, I got to help them troubleshoot product that's not ours because they can't get a hold of the competitor.
Mm-hmm.
They won't answer.
That's one way to win a customer.
Yeah, it is. It certainly is. And we've won tons of customers. I don't know how many guys have talked through competitive products. This is how you should pipe it. This is
how many times have you called into their customer service? I feel like you were calling quite a bit for a while there.
Because it was always one of those things where
calling to compliment.
No, never to call a compliment.
No one ever does do that. That happened once when I was in tech support for US Cellular when I was like in
college.
I
do get it on occasion.
I was like, can I like help you? They're like, no, I'm just going to say thanks. It's like, you're the only caller out of the thousands of calls I've taken.
It's usually someone griping and bitching because something's broke or it doesn't work. But I do get it. I get it once in a while. Hey, I'm just calling to say thanks for answering the phone and, love all the information you're pumping out. Just like we get messages through social. Yeah. I mean, I'm always blowing you guys up. Appreciate what you do. Mm-hmm. It's very helpful, and it kind of makes you feel a lot better about what you're doing. When
it does.
Yeah, it makes you. Yep. Okay. I came to work today. I got a compliment, and it just made my day go a hell of a lot better. I'll get 3 or 4 not so good calls and people not so happy. But that one call made the day just go that much better. All right, I'm doing my job.
It's one of those things where it's very easy to be a fish floating down the river and just kind of do what everybody else is doing because that's what everyone expects.
Right.
But it's also pretty damn easy to be, a lot better.
Because answer the phone, answer emails.
Yeah, it's just
pretty low.
That's what I say. I always, when we talk about this stuff, I always say it's just effort. I mean, that's all that it is. It's not anything else. And for whatever reason, a lot of other companies, whether they don't want to pay the staff to do it or take the time to build the infrastructure around it. And we're not some giant company. I mean, there's 5 of us in the office. We work our balls off, but again, like it's just effort.
Yeah. And action too. You have to take
for sure.
action, right? That's
for sure.
I think big thing. And you guys clearly put your money where your mouth is and you take action. You're showing up every day.
Yeah.
I mean, the progression too, just having known you guys for a little while here and seeing the new digs that you guys have and like how that's come to fruition. Like you're obviously taking the money and reinvesting it back into the business. Some people don't do that.
Right.
Some people just are like, put it in my pocket. It's like, well, then you're not going to have a business that's going to go anywhere. It's going to stay stagnant here.
Right.
So, I mean, it's really easy to see that you guys have put it more into product development and research and staff and your team. And it's exciting. I mean, on the business side, I could go on that all night long. So you guys have to like stifle me a little bit.
No,
some people are probably more concerned about the technology and what you guys are doing. Like,
when people ask like, what's the most exciting thing about Exodus? And like, they want the answer to be cameras, right? Like they want it to be like, oh, we're working on this new XYZ camera. It's going to do this and it's going to do that. But oftentimes, majority of the time, the answer is we're excited about building the culture inside the company. Like we go back and look at like how the company shifted and changed over the last 6 years. Like Jake started as an intern in college, and now he owns part of the company. And how things have shifted, and then hiring Cameron and seeing him evolve. Like when Cameron started working for us, he had edited like
1 video.
Yeah,
literally.
It was so good that you hired him after that.
Yeah,
make it sound not
the only
great.
one that wanted to stick around.
He did one video,
pretty much. No,
I think that just tells a testament. The people that we bring in are they take the initiative to learn. I mean, Cameron was hungry, he wanted to come in, and he's edited every video that we've
Yeah.
basically pumped out in the last 2 years.
And whose brainchild was Whitetail Cribs, by the way?
That was mine.
Okay,
So
you get to hold that flag.
What happened was it happened at Scott Buckley's house in Iowa specifically because we walked in and we were going to record a podcast, and then he went through and we listened to like an hour worth of stories, and he was like walking down every single one, and then eventually we're like, if we're traveling for these podcasts, we should just record them telling the stories. So then that's where it birthed, and then it's kind of evolved.
You're two birds with one stone. I'm already here. We're doing the podcast,
Exactly.
so let's get this other thing too that can have some legs.
Exactly, and
that makes it way less
really
of a pain in the ass logistically than I would have anticipated. Because, hey, we're gonna come to your house and film. Like my wife was like going nuts. She's like, "Are they gonna do filming here?" I was like, "I don't think so, but you might want to clean. I don't really know." She's like, she's losing her mind. So I got to imagine any house you've been to, there's probably some wife that's going like,
"Oh yeah,
you're gonna show our bedroom," or whatever it is. Like,
yeah, have been some places. It's their home, it's their tour. Like the episode's about them. It's not about us. So like if it's off limits, they don't want to talk about something like whatever. But going back to YouTube stuff, like a lot of the back in 2017, I think probably our strategic week. Jake and I are thinking like, all right, well, we need to put some focus into YouTube. Like we saw things changing on different social platforms.
Something like even
absolutely. But making that investment and then bringing Cameron in, a lot of the new hunter profile stuff that we're doing, the gear gadget, like a lot of that stuff has stemmed from his idea. So looking at what we have there, he's responsible for it.
Says you're becoming your own media company.
Well, I think to
some degree, right?
Yeah, in this day and age, when you look at the really successful brands, even outside of hunting, like they have their own branded content, and the return on ad spend is it seems to be a lot more.
It does get the excitement going though. Like you said, it's more than just a trail cam. Then it's an ethos. It's a
for
culture.
Sure.
It's like
for sure.
You're excited. So then it's like we were out putting trail cams out last summer, and then we get like the real cool shots of Greg doing one of these, but he's only one stick high. Does he even need the stick? Probably not.
You're taller than I expected too.
Thanks. Yeah. We always talk about that. Like either people are way taller or way shorter. There's usually nothing in between.
Yeah. He looks like a short, fat kid. Does he like donuts?
We know you like donuts.
Don't we all?
We try to mess around with some video stuff. We're just a bunch of goofs, like chasing shiny objects.
We just have fun,
time.
man.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Having fun and getting to know people.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So, I mentioned before we hit the record button, like I have practically zero interest in a traditional trail cam. So I'm pretty happy that I have none and that this technology has come so far now that that's what I can just step into.
Mm-hmm.
The theft aspect freaks me out as a public land hunter. So that's kind of kept me away because I don't want to waste money and throw it away. I've heard so many horror stories of people losing.
I lost one. It was one of theirs.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, half off a new one. I'm like, that's pretty freaking sweet. Because I've had no problems with any of the cheap, crappy ones that I've been happy to get stolen. And the one good one that I had at the time was a lift too, and it disappeared.
What's with the theft though? I don't like who the mind of the thief with the trail cam. Like, what are they? Is it a defensive thing? Are they?
Well, one
like I can't.
So
I just can't. I would never steal.
I know why this one got jacked. It was on private property that bordered public. Mm-hmm. Somebody went in there looking for sheds.
Oh, they didn't want to leave a trace of who they were.
So when there was snow on the ground, they left footprints. By the time I got back, the snow had gone because I went to Florida and came back. So they looked up right where I had deer on camera, and it's some of the footage I've sent you guys. And there it is on a T-post. I had no security on it whatsoever, other than
you thought you were on private land.
Yeah, I should be fine.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the case. Somebody saw it. Oh shit, we're busted. Well, we're gonna grab it, T-post and all, gone. Talked to the landowner. He's like, it was there last week. I'm like, it's not there anymore. Oh man, I'm so sorry. What do you do? I left it there.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I think, dealing with customers over the last 6 years, that scenario, I think, is more often than
the driver than someone just ripping a cam out of
on public land. Yeah. I think it's one of those things where guys are mushroom hunting, guys are shed hunting. They're somewhere they're not supposed to. They get their picture taken, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Let me just jack this thing.
That makes some sense. I could, but I just wouldn't. I would just, I would probably wave and be like, "Sorry."
Yeah, try to figure out who I am.
Yeah,
right.
Here's my, I don't know, write a piece of paper and call me. I'm sorry.
340 million people.
That's not how that always.
But it doesn't happen as much as what people think too. Because I remember in 2015, like when we launched with that policy as part of our, warranty or unique selling proposition, whatever you want to call it, people were like, "Oh my God, like you guys are going to go out of business. Everyone that buys a camera is going to say that their camera was stolen." Well, no, here we are 6 years.
Because there's going to be some bad eggs.
Well, there have been, but the thing, I mean, we have a system behind it. We track serial numbers and do different things with different people's accounts, and you can pretty quickly identify if somebody's,
trying to scam the system or whatever.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got to be a certain type of human to be doing. Those are the same guys that are stealing trail cams, like right? Oh, yeah, the fucker that stole the trail cam. He's like, someone stole my trail cam.
Well, and I even reached out and I just said, "Hey, if that one got jacked," he's like, "You got the serial number?" I'm like, "No, I didn't write that down." And then you messaged me like 2 weeks later, "Hey, we had one like in your area. What was the serial number?" I'm like, "I don't know because I didn't write it down and I didn't do the. I wasn't."
I'm surprised. You're usually.
I know, but it was like, what are the chances I'm going to need to use this warranty?
Yeah.
Well, 1 out of 4. I own 4 cameras and one happened to walk.
Mm-hmm.
But that was on me. I didn't secure it. I had it in a wide open on a T-post. Sure. Looking at a field. Anybody could see it. You could have picked it off with a pair of binos if you knew what you were looking for.
Who runs the most cams? Do you guys know? Greg, you have 4, you said?
No,
Josh
I have
Profit, does he have the most cams?
Josh runs a good amount.
He runs a ton.
Fucking fleet.
I'd love to have like 5, 6 more, honestly.
Josh is probably in the 40 to 50 realm.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
There's I don't know. We talk to a lot of people in the 40, 50, 60 range.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So private land's got to be a big deal though, then too, right? If you're trying to pattern a buck or something like
Doesn't
that.
matter what land.
I'd say more so is usually people in public.
Yeah. Just trying to cover ground.
Trying to find that unicorn buck.
Reese runs a pile of cameras too.
Probably more than 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of batteries.
It is a lot of batteries.
And time.
SD cards, batteries.
Yeah.
The battery tech hasn't changed much over the course of.
Lithium's the only
Tesla's
way to
doing
go
some
if you
stuff, so
want.
maybe there's something there. Is the battery that'll.
There
maybe
is
change
some
the industry in the
stuff.
next 20 years, but
There is some stuff happening in that space, but it's like you have to look at what consumers are willing to accept, and I think we're a long ways away from anybody kind of moving from double A's. In all reality.
And you recommend the lithium ion double A's?
Yeah, lithium. There's really 2 companies that make lithiums, Energizer. There's a new company that we just ordered batteries from that I want to do some testing on. It starts with a B. Cameron,
how long will they last typically?
Depends on how you get your camera set up. Like I'll run a
What's the best way to optimize it? I would say where you get the best of both worlds.
One, set your time of use. So like mine right now, depending on where it's at, but the one on the field edge, looking to scrape is. I think I got that thing set to go off. Start taking pictures at like 7:45, 8 o'clock, and magically I'm right on the money with it right now. That'll change as the month progresses.
This reminds me of like a pay-per-click cat.
But then it goes. I only let it go till like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning because by then the sun's up pretty high and people are doing what they do. And that one area, there's a fair amount of people activity. And the deer are gone anyway.
So you're using the operating hours in that capacity, yeah.
Yep. And then I'm also like my video clip. I love running mine in hybrid because I want to know which direction those deer are going and coming from. So they'll get 2 stills. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. Depends on how much the deer are moving around. And then a 20-second video or a 30-second video. I play around with that. But you can even look like
the video quality that you have is like really crisp. So can you
I'm only running
those settings too? Or?
I'm only running on 8 megapixel. If you can watch the card storage change in that camera by changing the megapixel.
How big of a card can you toss in there?
32 gig.
Up to 32?
Up to 32.
Okay.
I run a 16 unless I'm going to hide one way back in the swamp and not touch it. Then when it gets a 32, it gets a padlock and it's up there elevated and it gets all sorts of random stuff.
So between batteries and cams and cards, you're spending some money on this game.
Oh, for sure.
Easily.
Yeah.
Extra $22.
Yeah.
Like bare minimum.
Yeah, just talk to Byron. He's got it all figured out with a spreadsheet and everything.
Yeah.
Really? I bet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he has a pretty intuitive video on that.
Yeah, him and I talk all the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, did you catch that? Yeah, I caught that. Well, what do you think it costs? Because him and I had this conversation a year ago already.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, this is what batteries cost. This is what a card costs. wow, we got to figure out how much all this stuff costs us to run. So then he did it, and then he was on your guys.
Then you throw in the
podcast.
cell plan. So how does that? So that's different.
That's different.
Because
That's totally
you're dealing
different.
with cloud storage rather than
Mhm.
SD cards.
Right.
What's the economics of that? Like, is there a break even there with some of that stuff?
Well, I never looked at it from a cost analysis perspective.
Yep.
I know what my time is worth and how damn busy I am and the amount of fuel. Like, it's a no-brainer for me just because how busy I am. You know,
there's guys that are going to dissect it.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, for sure. There's guys that are saying, I don't want to pay the extra $10 a month to have, photos sent to my phone. I'd rather just go drive and check it. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
Like,
unless your hunting property's 5 hours away.
Then it
kind of bites bag, but
yeah,
you do it because you have to.
right. So there's it just depends on the individual and how they live their life and where they see the value.
Sure.
Yeah.
Time is worth something.
Yeah.
So what are some of the? Do you guys know the plans that you have for that, or who you're partnered with?
Yeah. So we partnered with a company called Scout Tech.
Okay.
It's a father and son team, and they developed the application from scratch. It's not a crappy white label mobile app because that's the biggest thing too. If you buy the render, what you're interacting with most is the app.
Yep.
So we partnered with a company that,
and that's got to
hit out of
that has to feel like a really solid experience for that.
Oh
to,
yeah.
Kind of reciprocate.
If you go creep around the app store and read like some of the competitors' apps, they get crucified just because the apps feel like an afterthought. And so we worked with Scout Tech. They solely focus on that. That's what they do. We do physical products. So it was a really good partnership. So I'm going to pull up the data.
Is there any smart stuff baked into that where
There's AI
pattern a deer or recognize a deer or anything like that?
So we've been inputting data in machine learning for the last, I want to say 14 months, maybe 16 months.
Yeah,
so there's nothing available to the public right now.
You got to build that database
Yeah.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
For it to become like
Yeah, the more information, you know the routine. The more information you run through it, the faster it learns, the more accurate that it gets. But that's we've been running data through that for the last 14, 16 months.
That's exciting. So that's something that could be lit up at some point in the future. As
Oh, yeah.
become an Exodus customer. Like those are things that I can look forward to. And again, we go
Sure.
back to like reinvesting money in the business.
Right.
You're not just sitting on your hands
I
going,
know.
"We've made it."
Yeah.
You're like, we're never gonna make it. We always got to keep innovating, right? Like
That's it. Yeah. If you're at the top of the mountain, deploy the parachute because you're falling off.
We were just talking to. We were talking to Andy May last week, and we were talking. I was comparing it to. Okay, so whatever. When I was in college, I played Call of Duty, and we drank all day, and it was awesome. Like my life is very different these days, guys. But you would like get to the end of like the level, or not level, but like you would level up. I don't know. Let's just say you have to go from 0 to 100 points. You get to 100 points, and you can just stay there, and you have all the guns, all the accessories, all the camo, all the stuff. But if you wanted to really level up, you have to start back at 0 again and do it again, and then
Get a prestige.
Yeah, prestige. Thank you. Like right, I don't remember the hell it's called.
They're talking Greek to me. I don't.
You prestige,
Duck
but
Hunt?
so it's a pain in the ass. You
Oh.
like go back
Duck
to,
Hunt. Nintendo.
Duck?
Duck
Oh
Hunt.
yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
That's what we know.
but that's how this stuff works. You gotta keep like learning from. Anybody else want some drop time?
I'm good. I got beer.
All right. Yeah, Greg, you could get me a beer, but you didn't say.
Well,
Just pour more of this stuff.
I would have gladly, but
Yeah, bourbon. You guys like that? Is it all right?
Yeah, it was good.
So you're
Yeah.
having so on the bottle, it's batch 2. So we had batch 1. Batch 1 wasn't as good as batch 2 because this aged longer in better barrels.
Mm.
So you're getting a better experience with the batch 2 than you would have.
So is that a local
They're
distillery?
out of Wisconsin.
Okay.
2 brothers. One's in New York and one's here. And so they're growing quite a bit now. They've hit some sort of like plateau where they got pallets going out to different states now in different liquor stores. It's just flying off the shelves. They can't keep it in stock.
Very cool.
Which is, whatever. It's got a freaking giant buck on the bottle. So like,
Big old drop time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone that's going to go to deer camp is going to be like,
At least try it.
Yep.
yeah.
And I don't know about. I told Greg to try a bourbon old fashioned. Brandy old fashions are a big thing here in Wisconsin. I don't know if you guys know that or not.
Yeah.
No.
I know what it is, but
It's a big deal. Come like
not a brandy guy.
fall, winter. It's like a seasonal thing.
Fish fry Friday.
Yeah. The
During-
supper clubs
during
have
Lent.
them.
Yeah.
But I tried a bourbon old fashioned, and it was like really good. I actually prefer it because brandy is really sweet.
Too
so
sweet.
the bourbon was a good way.
So what's in it?
So it's brandy. Then you do bitters, and then like a white soda, like a 7-Up or a
Okay.
Sprite or something, and then you do maraschino cherry, and I think you put a little bit of orange in there too.
All right.
So,
Yeah,
and
there's an orange
maybe
slice
some
in
sugar, maybe a sugar cube. There's a way to make it like a real legitimate way if you're into it, and someone's gonna freaking torch me for getting it wrong, but you do with bourbon.
Go
It's
wrong
pretty damn
right
good.
here.
There you go. The High Life Light. Where'd you pick that up?
$13.49 for a 30 rack.
Nice.
My gut can't handle Bush Light, so that's what I drink.
I mean, Bush Light.
Give it a try.
I like High Life Light. It's good. We got the dog barking again. It's just ridiculous around here. Good thing I don't have that puppy yet. By the way, everybody, I'm getting a puppy in addition to having a new baby. So
when's the baby due again?
Oh, and we bought a minivan
Puppies
last
all
week.
around.
So
The
life is
chaos.
just
And they gave him a
fucking
box
mess.
of crayons with it. Did
So
you eat the crayons
I
yet?
mean, this is totally off
It's a
topic,
Kia,
right? But
so-
we test drove a bunch of minivans for the whole last week. And last week was just minivan week. And we were looking for 6 months. We finally decided, okay, let's go get behind the wheel of some of these things. We go to this one dealership, and they were just no lube right up the rear end, just not great. But our son,
Not great.
we forgot the diaper bag. Our son pooped his diaper. And so my wife, I was like, I just had gone on a test drive. I got back. She's like, he's full of poop. We don't have the diaper bag. I'm like, well, here's the keys. Why don't you take the minivan and go buy some diapers? This is a real test drive. And so it was like the most minivan test drive you could get, right?
It was like a NASCAR pit stop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Haul ass all the way there, get it done, get back, change the tires.
It was a hell of a week. So now we got a new Kia Sedona. So whatever.
Crayons.
Yeah,
Did you
can't-
try the crayons? What color crayon did you eat first?
Purple?
Okay.
Purple.
It tastes like purple. I don't know.
Oh, great.
Yeah. We got a lot of sidewalks.
Do you think it's weird? So this is really off topic, and we're going down wormholes now. But the purple crayon, did it taste like purple? You ever so you eat watermelon or strawberry or grape?
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Subjectivity.
you eat something that's like artificially flavored, like a grape sucker. It
Yeah.
doesn't really taste like
Not at all.
grapes.
If you eat a grape and then eat a grape sucker,
It's not
like
the same.
at all.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
I
But
don't know.
when I
They
was
screwed it up.
when I was in college, I took a couple philosophy courses, and the professor's like, "Oh, when you think of subjectivity, tell me how a rose smells," and everyone's like, "It smells like a rose." Yeah, rose smells like a rose. You can't tell me because it's different to everybody, but maybe everyone smells it a little bit different. You have no idea.
Yeah.
But
So you're
with the
saying
grape
like
versus
grape suck?
I think that's different because the grape doesn't taste like grape. Snozberries don't taste like snozberries.
You don't know. You don't know. You've never had a snozberry.
But that's a good point. I mean, I guess if you took a grape, maybe it should taste like wine. That would be great. Because grapes make wine, right? Why don't they make the medicine taste like just wine? I guess that is medicine.
Because everybody would want to take medicine then.
Can I get the adult vitamin version, please? Sir, that's just wine. It's in aisle 6.
Oh man.
We never drink wine on the podcast. We should do that sometime. Would that be weird?
I better shoot some mallards first and cover them in bacon and cream cheese and jalapeno.
If it's just you two drinking wine on the podcast, it'd be a little weird.
It would be strange.
Then we should do it.
Then you're gonna have candles and shit lit over here. There's no rose petals.
Our wives are like,
That's gonna feel
your other
weird.
wife is calling.
Yeah. No
We
shit.
talk too much. Are you guys pretty? You guys talk to each other every day on deer hunting season about every little wind shift and all that stuff and the temperature and the cold fronts.
Well, yeah, you're two different states. I mean, you're in
Yeah.
Illinois and you're in Ohio.
But it's mostly through business hours for the most part.
Sure. So
I mean-
it's allowed.
I've kind of taken a step back. I got two small kids at home, and just starting the business and the crazy amount of work that went in, and working two jobs for part of it. Now when I go home from dinner time till the kids go to bed, I just don't answer my phone. I'll be honest. It's just we went through that thing, and my wife taking care of the kids and going through that for a couple of years. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that husband. I don't want to be that father. So I just when I go home, the phone goes on mute or goes away for it's 3 freaking hours, right? It's 3 hours.
Business is gonna go up in flames and then
Right.
Hopefully.
Right. Yeah. If 3 hours is going to make you or break you, you messed up somewhere along the way.
That's a good point.
So
Prioritizing family is it's a big deal. You have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to sacrifice that. I mean, you've worked hard to get your business where it's at, and you don't want to lose that or jeopardize it. But at the same, family's got to come first.
We've talked about this with deer hunters in general. There's people that have talked about the regret they have. Andy May, we went to the Father's Day one last week with the bow hunting dad.
He
said the same.
Even said the same thing.
Yep.
Everybody's been through. Guys that are really good at deer hunting, there's been a sacrifice somewhere. Yeah, and there's probably some remorse or regret someplace too.
Yep. You can't have one thing without sacrifice or
Sure.
entertaining something else. There's only so much room in a day.
Right.
And as much as we all want to say, well, by the way, though, you do stay up late as shit and get up early as shit.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
I can do one or the other, and sometimes I can squeeze in the middle, but it's usually I've been finding more success for me at like late nights. And then the early morning comes, I'm like, nope, not happening today.
Everybody, and the first thing, like even Dan today, he's like, man, you look tired, Chad. No, Dan, that's just the way I look. That's who I am.
Thanks for the compliment. Eh?
Always tired.
Always tired.
It's like the Hulk. I'm always tired. I'm always angry, whatever he says. That's cool. So what's on the docket? What's on the horizon? Anything new and exciting that you're willing and able to share on the show? Or
We can share Bevel Fest. I mean, it's going to be that time.
Yeah, it is.
I'm pretty excited. Crops are creeping up,
Yep.
beans, and I'm seeing a lot more deer. And I'm getting pretty excited, to be honest.
are you guys doing anything in particular to promote that, or run some sort of campaign, or what?
Oh yeah, so we'll run a campaign. We'll have all the details. Head to our website, sign up for the email newsletter. But all joking aside, that campaign's kind of evolved in the past. Before we had it stretched out way too long. So what we've done, we've narrowed it down. Every single order on the website, if you buy a camera, you get a scratch-off card.
Really?
Yeah, and each scratch-off card has a different prize amount off your next purchase. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
And then we're also doing something where if you get, like, speaking of Willy Wonka, if you get one of the cameras that so we were launching a Velvet Fest logo, and so we're going to etch that onto a couple cameras. If you get one of those, you get a giant Exodus gift card. So it's kind of like the golden ticket effect.
That's sweet.
Yep.
And also you get a super limited camera that you can use or put on your desk or whatever. Because I think that's one of the coolest things about our cameras is the aluminum backing, and it has our logo engraved in the back.
Yep.
So we're
Hold
kind
it
of
up to
using
the
that.
camera over there, maybe.
Yeah, we're kind of using that as a billboard to put the Velvet Fest logo on there. But I don't know. It's beyond. Obviously, we run a sale in conjunction with it, but that's really the last thing about that campaign. It's literally just getting people excited. Get your cameras out.
People are already excited. It's just like you're just putting some gas on the fire
Heck
at
yeah.
this point. Like, these guys are all hopped up. Let's just give them some more fuel for the fire. Because I'm already getting what we were doing the other day. I was driving, and my wife's like, "You looking for deer?" I'm like, "Well, first of all, I'm always looking for deer."
Right.
But she's like, "Are you already getting obsessed? Is it happening earlier this year?" I'm like, "No, we're okay. We're okay." And I'm like, "Shit, is she right? Like, maybe it's getting pretty bad, you guys. Like over the last 3 years, I would say my seriousness towards deer hunting and how I'm approaching everything is getting worse or better, however you want to
Depends who you ask.
specify it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem. I have my dad to thank for that. He's the worst driver in the world. I know he's going to hear this episode, but he will start going off the road. I'm like, Dad, he's like, fuck. I'm like, no, and now I'm doing
Gravel,
it.
ditch, grass.
Yeah, now it's me. But he's not really had any accidents. I mean, he usually figures it out when the rumble strips hit. You know,
That's what they're there for.
That's pretty funny, actually.
This is going back like, I don't know, probably 20 years, but we used to rodeo with a guy that I never really traveled with him a bunch, but you go to enough events or go to enough different places, it's the same guy. It's kind of in and out.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that would always haul by himself, and he would sleep while he put the car in cruise control.
What?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not like super long stretches, but he'd throw it on cruise,
How long?
straddle the rumble strips, and just.
Holy shit.
I'm like, dude, like, what's wrong with you?
Teslas now
I was
that
just
are
going to say,
getting,
this is
like-
pre-Tesla.
Yeah. This is
By the way,
20 years ago.
I'm
so
all
I'm in my
about that life.
25.
Like, give me the cars that are going to self-drive the whole way. 'Cause
Autonomous,
I wanna,
yeah.
I want to get in the car, go to bed, and wake up somewhere. Like, I'm good with that. The
Yeah.
5K, or the 5G and 8K technology, like,
Yeah.
bring it on, man. Those cars are going to see way better than I'm ever going to see.
Yeah.
So, and they're talking to each other. They know what they're doing. It'll be great. I'm embracing it. Everyone's going to be like, Eric, no. I'm like, yes. Bring it on. It's going to happen anyway. It's okay. Progress, as Walt Disney said all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like the tinfoil hat crowd, and then there's people that look at technology and think like how much more efficient you're going to be with your time. Like, imagine the amount of the work. Like, if you could sit in a car,
sleep, right? Like, let's just talk about sleep.
Yeah.
I got another newborn coming. Like, sleep is not on my horizon at all. I'm just
facts. Yeah.
You're right. If you could just get in there and get a whole bunch of work done, like even just my commute to the office, that's an hour a day. That's snapped up. So it's Audible books or it's podcasts. So like at least it's something.
How do you do the Audible
Suck,
books?
man. I'd rather read something.
I'm telling you.
Well, I still have my Kindle and I have Audible, and they have a feature called the Whisper feature or something. So they sync to each other. So like where I leave off on one, it picks up on the other. So at night I'll read, but in the morning on the commute or whatever, in the shower or whatever I'm doing, I'll jam it that way. But I have to listen to it at like 1.5 or 2x. Because if it's so slow, I start like my spine starts to itch and I can't do it. Like I'm like,
Man.
you need to talk faster. Like I need to.
Yeah, mine just starts to wonder.
And then for really good books, when it starts to give me stuff that I'm like getting like real jacked up about, I'll just listen to that book like 3 times.
Really?
Because then I'm like, then I'll start to absorb it.
Man, I try the audiobooks and like I just can't get bought in. Like I just started the Mark Manson. I'm going to try tomorrow morning. It's like when I tried it this morning. I was running
with an audiobook for the first time ever. Yesterday, I was like, oh, this is life changing.
I thought it was terrible.
I got so sick. I'm sick of the same music. It's like I'm not some punk kid that music can fire me up that much anymore.
See, I'm like mind, muscle, like deep thought. Like
David Goggins,
this is.
He's like nothing. Like
he's not human.
He's like I don't listen to music. I don't know. I won't have music when I'm on like a 50-mile run.
Dude,
so he's the psycho, but
for sure.
But I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like that motherfucker's listening to music. Like,
what do I need music? Yeah, that thought's played through my mind plenty of times. Yeah. Goggins doesn't need it. What do I need it?
He's a beast. Are him and Cam Hanes like? Are they buddies?
They've done some stuff.
They've been together. They've done some workouts together. I think David set up a bow.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm running, I'll just stop running and walk. Uncontrollably, it feels like. I'm like, am I being a little bitch right now or what? When there's no one running with me, I do that. But if I'm like competing with someone, I'll puke. I won't stop. And like the other way, it's a different problem. I like won't.
Yeah.
So if I don't have the competitive drive, then it's just kind of like, man, whatever. It's just myself.
I hate running. It's terrible.
What have you been doing, Greg? You were doing the beast mode stuff for half a minute there.
Yeah, the schedule got changed. I couldn't make it, but that was pretty intense. Hit workout real hard.
You do some stuff in your basement right now. Again, I see you like, throwing bags around or something.
It's tough. I don't know. I don't have the ambition. It sucks. I got more ambition to shoot my bow, go set trail cameras, go play in the garden, go fish. I got more ambition to do that than I do to grab a whole set of weights or run. I got a nice bike at home. I should get out. I got a trail right down the street from me. I could go hit that and ride.
I watched a lot of people walk down that trail last season.
Yeah, you did. No joke.
I was like, they have no idea I'm here right now.
Isn't that kind of cool? That happens.
It's cool. It's creepy, but it's like I was like listening to some conversation, like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Or the biggest kick in the balls was the guy singing Elmo with his kid.
That was a weird one.
It was like 4:30 in the morning. And it was pitch black.
Yeah, but just a parent at 4:30 in the morning with your kids, something's going on.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
weird.
But it was really weird. It was like, and he's screaming Elmo. I'm like, do I got to get down from this tree and go kick this guy's ass, or what's going on? And then he disappears. I hear the clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop through the gravel, and then he's gone.
And I hear so far.
But then he must have ran down that tunnel. He ran down that tunnel and yelled Elmo at the top of his lungs. I'm like, there ain't no fucking deer here. They're gone. They're afraid of Elmo right now. So he comes back, and I see he must have like some glow-in-the-dark bracelet on, and I see him run. I'm like, God, this is weird. I didn't think people did this early in the morning. Apparently. And he does it again, and he yells Elmo again at the top of his lungs.
And he doesn't know we're here, so it's
he has no clue. I'm like, oh, man. We ain't seen shit this morning. And we didn't. I heard one deer like scurry off like after you went to your spot. Mm-hmm. And that was it. Couldn't identify it. And then I had pheasants fighting below me. That was
things
cool.
make the worst sounds.
Yeah, they're
or like a broken chicken or something. Like
they're stupid.
Or like a rooster that doesn't know how to roost.
Yeah, it is an awkward sound. I never really heard a wild pheasant until this spring. We were in Kansas turkey hunting, and I was like, "What the hell was that noise?"
Oh yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's what it was.
What's the weirdest thing you guys have gotten?
Help our guests. Help our guests.
Oh, is that what's happening?
No, you're good.
My bad.
The weirdest thing that we've had on trail camera?
Yeah.
Well, we've seen Bigfoot come across the.
We just talked about that.
We're gonna find Bigfoot, and it's gonna be on a trail. It's gonna be a trail camera towards a person.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a person. I mean, it rolled through the server.
Dude, you guys should do
it was
a series.
A real picture.
You guys should do a series on like the mythical. Like you should do like what's the goat sucker called?
The what?
The goat sucker in Arizona. The chupacabra.
Oh yeah.
The chupacabra, right?
Okay.
Then there's Bigfoot. There's the Wendigo, which is here native to like Holy Hill. It's like the Indian spirit. And there was like a dude from the DNR back when they used to pick deer carcasses up that like he went on the radio. He didn't say his name because he was afraid of his reputation.
It was on the news too.
It was on the news.
Channel 12
and he was
news.
face blurred out. He's like,
Oh yeah.
I put the deer in the back of the truck, got in the truck, and something got in the truck. The thing went down, and then they
No
ran
joke,
off with the deer
I
carcass.
just drove through that area and
This is like
fixed a bunch of
2007, 8,
furnaces.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fixed a bunch of furnaces in that area, and I get home and I'm like, no, come on.
I got a cousin that will turn white if he talks about it because him and his buddies were driving a couple deer crossroads.
East of Bray Road.
And that Beast of Bray
Jefferson
Road. There's
area.
the Michigan Dog Man. Like
Yeah.
you guys could run a whole fucking series on like the weird shit that's out there. On just hey, well, let's give these companies trail cams. All these big companies, right? I don't know, but there's a ton of them, and those are just ones that I can like think of. That means there's probably got to be a whole bunch more.
Yeah, Mothman.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that one?
Oh, the giant moth looks like a man. Like there's a bridge, and I don't know the whole backstory. Yeah.
I always called
the
Reese
ghost.
Johnson the Mothman. I don't think he ever got the joke.
I think it was in West Virginia though. It was West Virginia, Kentucky, somewhere in the Appalachians.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere in Appalachians. The whole ghost thing though. There's a chunk of public up by the house, in an old railroad town, old cattle town. And like supposedly it was part of the Underground Railroad, like back in the day. And it's like
History there. It's cool history.
No, there's some history there. Yeah, like there's my granddad owns this. This is getting really way off topic, but
Perfect.
my granddad owned 4 or 5 acres, kind of cross town. That supposedly like there was a stagecoach robbery that had happened there in the 1800s
Okay.
with like a chest
Seems
full
legit,
of gold.
like, probably right.
Yeah, like why not? Like it's an old cattle town, old railroad. Like, anyways, but on this specific piece of public, a couple years ago, we had a buddy that was in there hunting, and he was mobile, no safety harness. He was climbing up, and we know the guy fairly well. Like he's not one to really fabricate stories, but people's minds do different things. But anyways, he fell. He's 18 feet up, fell, breaks his back, and the story. He said he didn't slip, he didn't fall. He said it felt like someone
That's
pushed
creepy.
him. Yeah. So one of the EMTs this is an older guy, and he's in a giant oak on a field edge, like giant. I don't think.
300-year-old.
Yeah, I mean like super, low parallel limbs, just like can't even wrap your arms around the tree, like 70 inches in diameter, massive. And the EMT, like 12 years prior to this, had come on a call on the same tree, same thing, like the same exact story.
That's creepy.
And the story is like that was a lynch tree, like
Oh my
back
God.
in the.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, come on. Like,
Well, yeah.
Shit, like I'm not joking.
Chicken skin.
I
Right
can't
there.
handle this stuff, guys.
And that's part of the Grand River, like that piece that we were just in.
See, he's even got it. Just telling.
Yeah, like
yeah, well, my cousin,
It's-
I got
I
it
got it too, man.
So, like, my cousin tells a story. They were driving by Holy Hill, but the Beast of Bray Road situation, deer crossroad, something chases it. They freak out, peel off, and then they finally get their bearings. They're like coming up from the bar. They're like, "What did we just see chasing those deer on 2 feet?" And then they went back, and then like they couldn't find anything. But
Right.
they're like to this day, he's like, "I will never, ever, ever go down that road again."
Well, and the thing
And that's either
Beast
the
of Bray
Beast Road
Road
or the Wendigo. I'm not sure which one.
so Bray Road is out my area,
Okay.
Jefferson Marsh, and I know of a couple people that have like one guy I know of was an EMT out there. They were looking for somebody, and they had pulled over to help somebody. I think it was a heart attack victim on the side of the highway. They pulled over because they had somebody called in on a cell phone, and they pull up. They get the person figured out and things situated, and all of a sudden they hear talking in the marsh. And then they said something. Andy said something to the guy, to the voice, and it laughed at him. Shined a flashlight, never saw anybody in there. It was the weirdest damn thing.
That's just creepy.
But then, you hear stories of weird happenings, people hearing voices or seeing things.
Yep. Or the DNR guy
But they
picking up
can't
the deer
find a
carcass.
footprint.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of a marsh where there's wet enough ground where you should be able to, you can see deer prints in it. You
Yep.
can see coyotes. You can see a wolf.
sure.
Bunnies, all that.
Which, but if this is some sort of Sasquatch walking through the marsh, it's
You
making
get it.
footprints.
It's a weird thing, man.
It is.
It's I don't know where I fall like on that
On the-
paranormal.
On the paranormal stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
either.
it's I know how powerful your mind is, and like
It can mess with cells.
Yes,
It
like
can.
it's happened to me, and I have to like take a step back and like,
Yep.
okay, did that really happen? No,
But
probably not.
Yeah, I always go, well, am I in any actual danger? No,
Right.
Like maybe it's freaking me out, but nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, detach.
I'm scared of the bear that could be at a bait pile or something like that, mulling away in some
Yeah.
apples that I'm like gonna freak out. Like that's the stuff that I'm like, I better be knocking an arrow, loading a gun or something. But the other stuff is just, it's fun to talk about though.
It is.
You get some weird shit on trail cams, and I know people have done the blurry photos with the sheet or whatever, and it looks like a ghost.
Yeah.
That's like stuff that people will still see that on the internet and be like, that's real.
Yeah, I mean, geez, oh man, with some of the editing software, you could do some really crazy stuff.
yeah.
So the background, I'll just tell the Bigfoot story. So we have a guy that works for us. Jason handles like a lot of the
Logistics,
operations. Yeah. He's like diehard Bigfoot believer.
Yep.
Like,
Okay. Well,
Thinks
hey,
it's a real thing.
they'll find it next week on tomorrow's episode.
Yeah, like Sasquatch has been in his backyard. Okay, like believes up and down, like it's a real thing. Well, he's not the most technical person, I guess you could say, like with technology. So we take a picture from one of his cell cameras that he has in his backyard.
Oh yes.
We superimpose Bigfoot on one of his photos and then send it back to the server, and he gets to his cell phone. And the better part of it is we're in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
That's
Ever.
awesome.
We're in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
So you're just like waiting. You're just like,
we know it's coming. We know it's coming.
Your ass
Oh.
off.
So he gets his picture and he's like, "Oh my, you're not going to believe it. What the?" He is freaking out, calling his wife, telling his wife to lock the doors. There's Bigfoot in his backyard. And this goes on for like 2 weeks?
It was a long time.
It was days because
It was so long that you got sick of hearing about it, apparently.
He came out to Harrisburg. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because he was freaking out because he was concerned about his wife and children at his house.
So you're right, because the next day we get another picture. Like we're spying on his cameras, looking at the server, checking. He's out there with his AR, like looking at the ground, like an AR is strapped to his back. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was
He
like,
bought into it.
oh, for sure.
It was,
I think Cameron is the one that broke the news. He's like, dude, they're messing with you.
he was getting out of line. He was because he showed up and he's like, what? He said it like in the most monotone, like, do you hear about the picture?
So who did the Photoshop? Who did the good job with Photoshop then?
We were with Scout Tech was out with us, so I think it might have been Wayne's
I
idea.
think it was Wayne. Yeah.
Yeah. So those guys from Georgia are kind of, Kevin did the picture and Wayne sent over the server.
So like you talk about like etching in the special logo on the physical trail cam. I feel like there could be some Easter egg things you could do with like pushing back out or something like, hey, if you get this on your trail cam, like
We've talked about it, yeah.
like then maybe that will freak some people like the tin hat guys out there. I'll call out Jeff Vance because we all know
He wears tin hat.
we know Jeff has a tin hat.
That's 2 layers
It's
of tin foil for him.
But we'll see him this weekend up at the HHA shoot anyways, so we'll have to give him some more shit about it.
There's we've talked about it. I think that there's probably some privacy issues or
maybe you do an
stuff
opt-in or something like that. If you want to like what's the base map does like the gear drop thing?
Yeah.
That's like it gets a lot of people centered around like guessing where the shit could be and then they win if they're close or whatever.
Right.
That's a neat concept.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, that would be neat. Because you're already checking your trail cam like feverishly, so I'd just be like, what the fuck is this? Did I just what? Oh shit! Oh my god! Yeah, that could be cool. There's no shortage of ideas. That's the thing. I think I mentioned you like who can be the human trail cam overnight. That's probably a terrible idea. Someone's gonna get mauled by a bear. Don't listen to anything Eric says. But I think my dad was a human trail cam one time. He got treated by a sow bear who was with cubs, and so like he's like, I can't get down. I can't. So then as he called his buddies, I don't know how they called him because it was before cell phone time. I think they're still in walkie-talkie range or something.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago up in the Nicolay National Forest in Wisconsin. And they were at the bar. They're like, well, we'll get to you when we get to you. We're drinking. We're already here at the bar. And he's like, what the fuck? So he just had to sit there for a while, as the story goes. And it was on Nail Route Road in Nicolay. So I know it's like by like an airstrip where like planes can land on some grassy strip. And as he's walking back, this is the tree I was in. That's where the bear was. He tells me the story. But they finally came, and after they were at the bar for a while, they're yelling and shooting guns, and the bear finally ran off. But he was in there till dark, and he's just sitting there with these bears below his tree stand. He couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's an awkward situation.
Yeah, for sure.
But human trail cams. I've seen some. The coolest thing, I feel like I got a glimpse of black bear once. I've seen possums, raccoons. I had a coyote almost like run over my legs last year in gun hunting.
Whoa, that's
Oh.
cool.
But it was. My wife's like, I can't believe you're that close to a coyote. I was like, he was terrified of me.
Oh yeah.
I looked. I thought it was a deer coming, so I heard him before he knew I was there. So I was looking, ready to go, kind of like, oh, this could be a deer. I'm excited. And then I was like, it's a fucking coyote. He's right there. And he looked. He's like, oh, I'm out. You know.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat to see hunting the ground. But
Yeah.
in the Nicolay, I was always freaked out that a pack of wolves would come by or a bear or something like that. So I was always in the trees.
Wolves a serious problem in northern Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to hunt Burnett County, which is like right before Lake Superior and right on the edge of the Minnesota border. St. Croix rivers run through there.
Mhm.
Mississippi's just on the southern edge of that. But yeah, I've had several encounters with wolves up there to the point where it's like you weren't seeing any deer.
Right.
So that's
There's just
one
so
of
much
the
predation.
Yeah, it was an area where the Jordan buck was shot. But granted, that was 1919, way back when that deer was shot.
1914.
14.
Oh my God, was you?
We just did it.
I was wrong.
We just did a hunter profile.
Oh,
on this,
Greg's
so-
never wrong.
No, I'm
I don't
wrong
mean to
plenty
like
of the
throw it
time.
on you. I'm just
No, it's
saying.
fine. It's all good.
Let me
I just
fact check
believe
this.
everything
I
he
don't wanna do
says.
Anyway, so like 20 minutes from where that deer was killed is where I used to hunt with my dad, and I call him my uncle. He's my buddy. He's my dad's best friend.
Yeah.
That's who I was named after. So that was my dad's mentor to deer hunt. And every time every time that guy would come over as a kid, I could listen to the same stories over and over and over from that guy because it was just always cool. Uncle Greg's here. I'm gonna sit and listen to all the stories from him rolling his Ford truck down a ravine in Wyoming to while he was mule deer hunting, and then he comes home with a mule deer story. For
By the way, Levi's watching, so we
All
talk
right.
about things rolling down hills. Have you guys heard about Karen the horse?
Mm.
All right, different story.
Yeah. Anyway, but getting back to it, we're up by camp up in Burnett County, and my dad and I go out and hunt this piece of public, probably about 20 minutes from the campground. And my uncle and his son come out with, and we kind of divide up and sit in places. Well, I didn't see anything, but I heard a lot of dogs barking just as it was turning like prime time, like an hour before dark. And then the dogs shut up completely, and then the wolves key up. And when they howl, and you're
Everything
going-
else shuts up. The
everything
coyote
shuts up.
Yep, they're like, fuck
There's
this.
nothing happening.
Yep.
And they let out a howl, and then the whole group just chimes in as a chorus. And you're sitting there, you're going, well, it's closing time. I got to get down. And the truck's about a half hour walk that way. And I think I hear him over there. I think I'm walking back with a round in the chamber. I don't care if it's illegal or not.
Yeah, you need to feel secure about that.
So
you hear one. It's a pack animal. There's probably like 14 of them. You know?
yeah, I mean, judging by the sound, there's probably at least 8.
And you're walking by yourself. They're probably not interested in a human, but
Yeah, you never know. You never
It's
know.
just- it would be-
With no experience with them, you just don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But I've had a 2 in the same area where I walk into my stand, it snows. I walk out of my stand at about 10 o'clock to go grab lunch from the truck, and there's fresh bear tracks, heading the same direction, or make a curve on a road. Crap, I forgot something. Turn around, head back to camp. There's 5 sets of wolf tracks crossing my tire tracks on the road because it's a back road. It's a
we were
gravel
talking
road.
about goosebumps earlier. Levi so he's out of Wyoming, by the way, guys, and he runs a Pulling Feathers podcast. We said talk about rising hair on your back of your neck. I hate that sound, so I'm assuming in
Wolves, yeah.
in Wyoming you're gonna hear.
Yeah, but I've had plenty of encounters with wolves up there, and none of them negative. My uncle had a real good one where him and his buddy were actually scouting, and my uncle's taller than me, real long-legged guy, and his buddy is a little fella, and they're scouting, and it's all tag alder swamps up there. It's all paper company land, and he turns around and Mark's way behind him, and he happens to catch a glimpse of something dark because it was snow covered. And here's a black wolf. And it kind of paralleled him and it peeled off. So he runs back and he goes, I just saw a wolf. Did you see the wolf? And Mark had no clue because Mark's short and can't see anything. So he goes over and picks up the track and he backtracks for several hundred yards. And here he picks up a second set. And he happened to look to the right and here was a gray wolf. Well, the 2 of them had been paralleling
Oh, sure.
a pair of them for who knows how long. So
I know a weird amount about wolves. So when I was in like grade school, I was like I had some sort of obsession with wolves, and I like to this day, I remember every single fact about them.
And mine is.
I know that their
grizzly, so I
fur
don't
is
know
hollow,
why.
that they can chew bone and they eat the marrow. They can run 40 miles per hour. Like I know some weird shows. They're the only animal with an appendix, like their dew-claw functions like a fucking thumb, so they can actually grip their prey like a cat could. They're fucking scary animals, man. They're no joke, and they're large. So Levi asked, I'm looking at getting a Wi-Fi capable camera. Can
He
the guys?
he actually messaged me about that.
He's asking. Yeah.
Yep, perfect.
Can the guys break down how their cameras and service prices work, or is that too in depth?
No, I think we can break it down real quick. One, we offer cellular cameras. So this is one of the things that consumers get confused about or don't know the terminology, and they search Wi-Fi. Like there's a difference between Wi-Fi and cellular. So we offer, and I think that's probably what he's referring to is the cellular.
That's what he did. He asked me about Wi-Fi. I'm like, no, it's cellular.
Right.
And
So there's
how to work. And go ahead.
Yeah, you have cellular. There's different wireless technologies: Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, cellular. You want to look at cellular cameras, not Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. And basically, you buy the camera. You have to have a data plan and have that active through whatever carrier that you have. The location has service, and it doesn't matter what kind of phone you have. Most brand name cameras, the bigger players in the industry, are server based.
Your existing carrier,
some you can.
Okay.
Some you can. But you have to look at what service or what network provider that offers coverage in your area where you want to run that camera. So if you are in an area where you only have AT&T coverage, you better buy an AT&T certified camera. If you're in an area that only offers Verizon coverage, we need to buy a camera that has.
Are you guys agnostic with yours, or
just Verizon?
Predicated on the technology that's in there, because so AT&T, they rely on the what is it, the SIM card and the tower, versus Verizon just relies on the tower, right?
Well, no, there's you have an IMEI, you have a CCID number, even with Verizon. Okay. So it's both. But as far as like the certification testing, Verizon, when we came to market with
they're the biggest, baddest out there. They hold all the.
There's the broadest. Yeah, when you look at market saturation, they offer the biggest chunk, I guess you could say. But what you want to look for, Levi, is making sure that whatever service you have in that area, you want to make sure the camera has that service. Don't worry about your phone provider, as long as you're buying a camera from a major player, because it's all server based. It'll work with any connected device. Doesn't matter if you have a Sprint phone, AT&T phone. It's just like, Greg, if you send me a text, you could be on a Sprint phone in Wisconsin and I'm on the AT&T phone in Ohio. Like, I still get the pictures, I still get the text messages. Right. So it's the same kind of concept. But so you buy the camera, make sure you have coverage.
When you might not hunt where you live either, right? So
right.
We're talking about the Northwoods, Wisconsin. Like, I'm certainly not living up there, but there might be different cell coverage up there.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So you got to get it activated, and you pay. Data plans range from. I mean, we have plans that are $2 or $3 a month, all the way to $120 a month. Yeah. So the thing you need to look for is what your activation fee is per month. If there's a monthly contract, we don't have a monthly contract. Some companies do, some companies don't. But the bigger things that are kind of hidden that people don't realize are like the upsells on the app. So if you want, like, certain companies have what they call premium features, where you can control the camera remotely from the app, which we call OTA functions, over the air functions. And to have those features active on a camera, they're going to charge you $3 a month. They're going to charge you an extra $4 a month, or an extra $5.
Those are revenue opportunities for those companies, right?
It is, but it's like, that's what the thing should do anyways. That's like, you're buying a cell camera to manage it remotely. Like, why would you offer anything less?
Oh my God, I love that you're talking about this, because that's like, doing the right thing is the right thing. Like, just
do it
fucking right.
Yeah.
It goes back to you, like, changing things, like not being a fish floating on the river.
Yeah. And that you know,
people saying you're going to lose your ass. You're like, cool, I'll lose my ass, but I'm here for the long haul. So.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So those are, regardless of what brand camera you're looking at, look at those kind of hidden things and actually what you're getting from the mobile app. Because like we talked about earlier, the mobile app is the bigger consumer experience over the physical product.
And so just while we're on the topic, like, I'll let you, whoever wants to take it, but like, what are the things that separate you from the competitors, or who are the competitors? Like, if you're evaluating getting into this, why would I not go to SpyPoint or Tacticam or whoever? Like, what's the biggest differences here, short of the warranty and all that?
You can talk about Jake.
Jake's like, how many beers have you had, Jake?
Yeah. Dang. No.
Bush Light.
No, I mean, the biggest thing, obviously, there's a lot of things that go into any sort of purchase decision in general. I mean, I think with what it's kind of weird, because what I've seen from the first start of Exodus to now, it's the same customer evolution. So it's people that camera started at X price, and then it was raced to the bottom. And then what happened was people would buy those crappy products, and they're like, "I'm sick of this." And then
everyone's like, "How can we make this cheaper?" We'll stop that.
Yeah, and then people would buy the cheap ones, like, "This sucks. This isn't doing its job." So then they would circle back, and then that's kind of like how we sold the Lift 1 and the Lift 2. And the same evolution is already happening with the Render, where it's a $335. However, it works. It has a 5-year warranty. We have customer support that backs it up, and it just flat out works. You put the solar panel on it, it does its job. But then you have people that are buying the cheaper cameras, and then what's going to happen is they're going to get pissed off. They're not going to contact customer support. It's going to circle right back to us. We're going to answer the phone. We're going to answer the questions and sell the camera to them and take care of them. So I guess if they're looking for a camera that is reliable, has a good, strong warranty, and they can talk to someone that actually is familiar with the product, then, to me, it's a solid pick. I mean, there's some other good options out there, but it's the race to the bottom, and we're carving out our niche, and that's what it is.
Good to go. That makes sense. I take it, guys. There's a lot of options out there. Are there any? It's never like a bash your competitor kind of thing, but
no.
There's obviously clear benefit in choosing you guys.
Yeah,
Michigan
there's
based. So you're here talking with us. Like, who the is SpyPoint going to send to the Michigan Center podcast studio? Right?
You are.
Did I say Michigan?
Geologically challenged.
I really am, guys. Math, spelling, geography,
Ohio-based.
what the fuck? Yeah, Michigan. I was thinking Michigan and Ohio.
The what? How do you spell that?
and spelling.
Let's not talk about.
There's like
I was trying to do math about the microphones before you got. This is really happening.
I was like doing a math problem.
There's 6 of them, so there's 3 of us. Wait, there's 2 of us. How many mics do we get? It wasn't going well. Then we had to go get more stools. It got weird quick.
Just in the Big Ten conference football, we don't even say that word in our state. Like the place up north is what we refer to. Okay. The place up north.
So anyway, I don't even know what the hell I was talking about. It doesn't matter.
Hopefully that helps answer Levi's question, I guess, at the end.
I don't know if he responded back. So if my wife is frugal, a frugal person, what does the data usage take away from my phone plan?
Yeah, it just depends on. Again, for like our plans, you can range from $3 to $120. Okay. So
most people are in the $10 range, I would say.
Yeah, I would say.
Depends how many cameras you run. Depends where you set up.
You can start somewhere, and you can.
Yeah.
You can crank up or down.
Yeah, that's another.
Figure out how you're using, and then go from there.
Well, that's another unique selling proposition. Like one of the things that we do. So there's no annual contracts with what we do, and you're not even locked into a monthly contract. Like it's flexible within the month. So if you buy a $10 plan and you realize I bought way too much data, I'm never going to use this. Well, you can downgrade halfway through the month and then get that credit between the 2 plans, the difference between the 2 plans. Okay. You can get that credited to your account. Or it could be the exact opposite. You could buy a $10 plan and be like,
remember, what was that cell phone plan? That Singular Wireless was the first ever cell phone company that did the rollover. Like if you did your minutes, you kept them kind of thing.
Yeah.
Back when minutes were a thing. Yeah. By the way, I like that Levi pretends that his wife listens to this shit. Like you don't have to put frugal in quotation marks. He's not listening. But what if I take a picture of a branch 1,000 times on accident because I'm a dipshit? And, am I going to eat that data cost?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you got to be mindful of that then.
Yeah, data's getting used.
Yeah. Things are getting, and it's not like, hey, well, let's rack up as much data on these people as possible. But if it gets sent over the air, even when you send,
it's already done. It's already been
we're getting we get docked from
cap it at some point though.
Yeah, you can set overage tolerances. You can set all that to suspend cameras, shut cameras off.
And the beauty there is if you're doing a cell cam, we'll kill it because obviously I can see real time that I've gotten a branch 1,000 times.
Sure.
Versus you don't know that. You got to fucking hike out there, and you're like, son of a bitch.
That's why I'm diligent about where I set them, how high I set them, and I do a little manicuring when I can.
Yeah.
It is key. And I also, now is the time to get out. Some guys are already been out.
Foliage changes, right?
Foliage does change, but now you're kind of hitting it at its peak. We've had a lot of a lot of heat here, no rain. So things with the rain all of a sudden, things are going to shoot up. So I'm going to have to go back. And that's why I'm kind of taking my sweet ass time getting some of these out.
I got things soaked, but you said, I asked you how long you let that sit, and you said, I'm going to let it sit for a month.
Yeah. Yep. Sure.
Yeah. 3 weeks to a month. And I know things are going to change, so I'll have to go in there and be prepared to knock things down and leave a little stink in there, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
we do content around all this stuff too. So like if someone was
you guys-
wondering around a certain strategy or tactic or best way to set a camera, like
If you can think
just
of it, we
Google
probably
something and
definitely
most likely we're
Go
going to rank
check out
on.
Trail Cam Radio. That's all I can say. You
That-
guys have done a phenomenal job of covering a lot of different scenarios with trail cameras and trying different things with them. The whole situation with batteries.
Yeah.
You've done a bang up job.
Yeah,
You've done
thank you.
an awesome job of it. And between that and Whitetail Cribs and everything else that you guys
Is it weird
do,
that I love you guys for your content more than trail cam so far?
No.
that happens a lot. I
Yeah.
think, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm living vicariously through Greg, but I'm about to drop some money on a bunch of shit. So, I mean, that's what's about to happen with me. Short of like everything we put into production here, like it's, trail cams are going to be, cell cams are going to be that's my thing this year.
Mhm.
So I'm maybe a little behind the game right now, but I'm about
you'll get there. It takes time. I mean, I've been running cameras long before Exodus was around. I've got old Wild Games. I've got old stealth cams yet. I think I have an old Bushnell that the batteries blew up.
I'm such a,
But I did that because my previous job, I had this much time to hunt.
Yep.
And ever since I didn't get out nearly as much as I wanted to ever. It always gets screwed by work. So when I changed jobs, then it was like, all right, I'm going to start spending money. Bought a new bow, invested in some good cameras, better tree stands.
you're leveling up. I'm just at
Leveling
the
up
on ramp
one
of
at a time.
leveling up, guys.
and
I'm
learning
right there.
learning how to read sign better than what I
But
did.
I also I am all about learning the bare minimum of things. Like I'm more into the strategy and tactic, and I'm like bare minimum on my bow, bare minimum on my arrows, bare minimum on
Sure.
everything. I don't want to.
We've done good with
all
the
that
arrows,
stuff.
though. I mean, that's another
We
thing
lucked
we
out.
take around with too.
Yep,
Is
and I
building
luckily I know
arrows.
this guy. First, by the way, though, apparently Andy May would be the guy to know because that conversation last
Yeah,
week.
he likes to play with bows. I don't. I take it to the
Someone
shop,
asked
they
a
do their
question. They
thing,
said, "How do
square
you
it up,
tune your
and-
bow?" And it would turn in like 30 minutes of how he tunes his bow. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
I'm gonna just take it to the archery shop, and then they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Guys. Like I don't.
I tune my arrows to the bow, which is kind of an odd concept. But go watch Ranch Fairy stuff.
Yeah,
If you
sure.
don't, It makes sense and it does work. I can tell you it works. I did it last
Yep.
year. I mean,
But on the trail cam
That's
stuff,
a-
like I'm the guy on the cell cam. I'm like I'll probably get like a high data plan, and I want to put it out there. And I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out there again. I don't want to lay down scent for starters. Like that's a big.
the only other problem is there's other hunters in our areas that will lay down the scent. So
It's true.
Damned if you do and damned if you don't. Just when you think you got it by the nuts, you don't have it by the nuts. Somebody else has come and took your nut.
Here's the fair warning, though. Once you get one cell camera, it won't be enough.
Right.
2 cell cameras won't be enough. They're
Oh, no.
super
Oh, no.
addictive.
But I have
everything.
I have 3 geo air, so I'm only geographically challenged outside of the state. Like when it comes to deer hunting, I know what I'm talking
I'm driving
about.
when we go to Colorado.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But I can find my way in the woods. But don't put me in a subdivision. I'm fucked. Like good luck getting out of here, guys. All the construction, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I'll help you a little bit. Don't listen to me. But
You can follow me. I'll get you out.
I'll help you don't listen to me. Is what it says.
But when it comes to the woods, like I know what's happening, I know my direction. But in any event, like I want to have a couple per each property, so I can start to figure out: it's a holding deer, is it not holding deer?
Sure.
Is it worth hunting or not? So on and so forth. Hopefully, I have enough fortitude to put it in an area where I think I actually can get something on camera. But
Yeah.
it's been a fun conversation.
Yeah.
It's been all over the place. We've covered some good nuggets too.
Yeah, I got a question.
For me?
No. Not
Okay,
for you.
God.
For our guests.
Thank you.
What are you doing new this year in your hunting setup? I mean, obviously you hunt saddle, right? Are you combination saddle?
I do stand in saddle.
Okay.
There's a place for both, I
Right.
think,
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I have a new bow I still need to set up.
Me too.
Clock's ticking.
I know.
October 1st is your season.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll be down there too, by the way.
You coming down to Illinois?
Mm-hmm.
Where about?
I can't tell you. Well, I could tell you. But
After-
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying.
When are you
I'm
coming
not.
down, though?
Let me see how Wisconsin goes first.
Okay.
See if I get on something first.
Sure. Well, if you end up down my neck of the woods, let me know.
I don't think I'm quite to your neck of the woods. We'll talk later.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Aside from that, honestly, not much. I'm on the quest to kill a booner. I'm sure I won't, but
That's a tough gig, man. I mean,
We'll get you some more OK Thunder stickers.
I found a really awesome buck. You guys probably saw all the pictures of it. And
yeah.
so did half of my neighborhood, apparently. So
That's a tough thing.
That's the crazy
when
thing about
when
it.
it blows up and hits the internet, then
Oh,
it's
yeah.
then it's trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's some guy wandering along the road and he takes pictures of it and posts. It's like, damn it, you're not helping me.
Well, obviously, we're trying out the saddles. That's going to be
Yeah.
a thing
Yeah,
this
sure.
year. So we got the Latitude Method 2 that we're the extra large because we're
fat.
well, they look
Like
like Greg, and
weird
then they gave
donuts.
me an extra large. I'm like, the fuck, whatever, it's fine.
Hey, fat ass. We got
So
one
you're
for
like
you.
the same size as Greg, right? I'm like, this is the whole we haven't met in person thing.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. So, but it's fine. It's very comfortable.
You look taller than what you are. You look fatter than what you are.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But I don't have a setup like I used his last year,
Mhm.
which was the Lone Wolf.
Yeah,
like the
Lone Wolf
original
standing
OG
sticks.
one.
Yeah, the OG.
Which is
And
great.
it works
It's good.
great.
But I'm really focused on having a system, so I'm happy to put the diaper on and just walk out in the woods and like be good with that. I don't want to mess around with the turtle shell back anymore.
See, and I'm cool with either way. I'm gonna use whatever tool I need to.
You guys saw me trying to stack sticks last winter. It
That
doesn't
was
go well
that
for
was
me.
not good. It's not good at all.
Takes practice.
The
It
teardown
doesn't
is,
matter.
The teardown
Still
is
doesn't
worse.
matter.
Yeah.
I
My wife's like, when are you
takes
gonna be done?
patience.
No,
Zero of
I
it
have
right there.
Zero. I have a lot of patience when it comes to like when I'm goal setting. I know where I'm going, but when it comes like in the moment shit and my hands, I'm losing my dexterity because it's cold. I'm like, I want to go with my daughter. Like I want to go with my son. Like I'm done. And I start to
That
get
was the
pissed
funniest
about everything.
thing. Like I took us back in that tag alder swamp, and I'm sinking to my nuts in water, and I hear you whistling, and I'm like, "Fuck, what's he doing over there? Why am I over here? I just pulled the compass out and looked. How the fuck did I end up here?
That was your fault.
You were
It
in
was
some
all my
that.
fault. It was all my,
That was
it
your
was all
fault.
my
I didn't
fault.
fucking move.
There was a couple times you sent me some stuff on IG. Like you were in some nasty shit last
Yeah.
year.
And I love the nasty. Like I'm all about the adventure. So bring it on.
There's
You're never gonna like
I
scare me
found
off,
some good
but-
stuff in there, and I mean most of my good stuff. That's where it's at.
Sure.
But now I know why
You
deer
did like a
can
big
survive
circle
in
around me. I was like, well, I'm
I
not gonna
did.
fucking see anything.
And
Thanks a
I
lot,
blew.
Greg.
I you know how many? I think I blew a half dozen deer out of there. You just hear them get up 30 yards in front of me. No, they didn't blow. They just, yep, that's some idiot wandering around out here. See ya. Peace out. Head south. Head north. Head any direction where this guy is not. And they did. But then I still ended up getting around a couple of them and setting up, and then they came out right at dark.
My dad did that to me one time. He like tried to cross a creek, and I don't know where the fuck he was. He was gonna go this way and end up that way, and then I heard this giant splash, and I hear all this fucking around. He's like, "Oh yeah, I tried to jump over the creek. I saw coyote tracks. I thought, if the coyote can do it, I can do it." And then he jumps over, and he didn't make it. Shit. So I heard a big splash. The best story I've ever heard from my dad was my uncle Randy, who he got treated by a herd of cows once. He's like the guy. He is actually like worse than the okayest hunter. My dad set up a tree stand. Randy goes across this swamp. Loops. My dad watches him just loop right back around. And Randy goes, "How'd you get on this side?" He's like, "I didn't fucking move. You didn't cross."
Oh, jeez.
But when you're in that thick stuff, you don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, it messes with your mind.
It does. It does. And it was cloudy out, so I have no sun direction whatsoever.
Yep. Yep.
And any other day, it's fine. But on a
Yeah.
cloudy day, that's when you screw
Are you
yourself.
using
Yeah.
sun direction?
Oh, you use sun, moon.
Yeah,
like,
use
That's
anything anyway.
impressive. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
So after those deer come out, it's closing time.
I got a
get down.
Lansata compass over here. Like that shit's the real deal.
Yeah.
You know?
I
want some
walk
land
the
map.
trail down to pick you up, and I whistle, and you whistle back. And you're like, ah. And I hear you cursing and swearing. I hear a bunch of clanging, and then I hear shit go sailing through the limbs, and I hear branches breaking, and I hear a splash.
I'm
Oh,
dropping stuff from the tree.
That must
I'm
be the
done
tree
at that
stand
point.
hitting the water right now.
Yeah, I'm like fucking throwing shit off the tree. I'm
And then
like,
I
I'm
see a
done.
headlamp, and it's going this way, and it's going that way, and it's going this way. And so I stop, and I'm on the edge of the swamp, and I whistle for him. Yeah, I hear you. All right, just come towards my voice. Where are you? I'm over here. Ah, fuck. Splash, splash, splash. Kaboom. God damn it. Gets back up. I'm like, I'm coming to you. No, don't come to me. I'm like, no, I'm coming to you. So I hop over the spot.
Yeah, I'm like, I know where the fuck I'm going.
Yeah, no.
He's like, no, don't move. I was
you,
like,
you
I
were
know.
heading east. It wasn't good. It would have been a long trip east. So
More adventure.
yeah, I get to him. He's like, where the fuck are you? I'm like, can't you see my headlamp? I can hear your voice, but I don't see anything. So I'm like, up, over, down, get down. Yeah, I see you. I'm like, damn near touching my chin to the water. Well, come this way. How the fuck did we get in here? So it's a winding trail. It goes to the
I'm
left.
like, you already dropped
and it
your
goes to
stuff
the right.
off? He's like, oh yeah, I dropped my stuff off when I came back. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, you guys.
You wander around in that swamp enough, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
There's a few landmarks in there, not many. And they get worse every year because most of that shit falls over by the roots and it's like stacked like matchsticks in there. Blowdowns everywhere and water underneath.
You guys might got a new client tonight or new customer. Levi said he's going to give you guys a call. So
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Yeah.
Levi, don't call them. Just go to the website and start buying stuff.
No, you call, talk to me, talk to Jason, talk to somebody.
Yep.
Cool.
My
They'll take care of you, Levi.
Where should people go to find you guys?
they go to the website ExodusOutdoorGear.com. Google Exodus Trail Cameras. We're on Amazon. We're on YouTube, Facebook,
You guys are on Amazon.
Instagram.
How's that going?
Really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
They take a pretty big cut.
They do.
But you get a lot of exposure.
Send a lot of
They do, but
People come back
it's
after
an
they're
investment.
done.
Well, there's a strategy
Easy
there.
now.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, there's
Can't
some
give away the whole
hidden
recipe.
tactics there, but yeah, no, it's doing really well. That's all we'll say about that.
All right, good to go. Good to go. Well, with that, I suppose we can
buy our
end our broadcast.
e-course. Just kidding.
By the Amazon e-course,
Buy
yeah,
our
there,
e-course, yeah.
there you go.
Yep.
Well, broke the top 100 in
Quick.
30 days
There's
in a
people
very saturated product category.
Yeah.
They love Amazon. People love
It's
Amazon.
easy.
And
They have my shit. One click buy. Like I just ordered. There's
Sure.
a bunch of boxes over here because I buy stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So like I got a box of batteries for my camera. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was here 2 days. Done. Same as the
Great
day.
shit.
A lot of trust there. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Too much trust probably if you're in the whole
It is.
ecosystem. It can
Yeah.
be a little scary.
Yeah.
If you're wearing the tin hats again, right?
Yep.
We'll go back to that.
Yeah, but Amazon boxes work great for cutting up fish on. I'm just saying that.
Dude, my wife's like part of this banking on bargains thing on Facebook. So like she thinks everything's a deal, but it's like a scam.
An affiliate program.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like she gets good deals on stuff like this light thing here, whatever that is. That was like $2.
Halo.
Oh, nice.
So
I think I get the sales volume up.
watch this. I got some other fun stuff. You want to know what else was like $2? This what's this thing behind me here? That light back there.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's what happened.
Yeah, we got some of those in the studio, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that was like nothing, right? So there's like stuff that comes in the mail that I'm like happy about, but most of it's not. I'm not happy about because we can't burn things in this subdivision.
Well, my eyeballs are floating.
Yeah.
I'll
So
end the
he's
live
gotta go.
broadcast, and everybody that tuned in and commented, Levi, thank you. William, thank you. Who else jumped in? I'll just call some folks out. Jose, thank you.
If you guys want to keep going, Cameron can jump on or take a pause or whatever. I got to pee though.
I'm hungry.
Okay.
We got pizza to eat.
True.
Smells food.
Yeah. All right.
It's a pleasure to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Officially, I
Yeah.
thought I know both of you already, but it was cool to shake hands.
Yeah.
Shake hands.
Greg's the star of the show, so.
Yeah, just the left side of my face.
All right, guys. We'll get this in podcast land tonight still. So have a good night, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in.